Hello everyone, I'm Ben Coleman, one of your hosts here at the Florida Aviation Network in beautiful downtown Lakeland Linder Regional Airport. We're here with the 41st Annual Sun and Fun Fly-In and Expo, and it's quite an event. If you haven't been here, please come and see us. And as usual, we at the Florida Aviation Network, all of our volunteer staff, and all of the folks throughout this airport, aircraft, city, state, country, and world are here for aviation safety. That is the purpose that we come here and talk to you and bring some very compelling personalities, talent, interviews, and we want to share with you now if it's something that's about to happen starting in, I believe in June. We have Captain Judy Rice. Hi, Captain
Ben.
Judy.
Hi, Ben.
Judy, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, because if I start to develop that, I'm going to fall short, because it's such a great thing what you're doing. And introduce your team to us first.
Would love to. I have some of our core team here. We have Navigator Fred Nauer, to which this project would not have happened without Navigator Fred. And it's too long a story of how Navigator Fred came into my life. We have Diana LeSueur, and Diana is the Arizona lead teacher. And we have back there, hiding behind Navigator Fred, is Jessica. Jessica Seaman has been with the project, which is 10 years now in the making from the very beginning. Jessica was just a wee little thing when we started. Jessica's the international lead student. And we do have teams across the world, Ben, all over the world that are working with us. What is it?
Tell us, please tell us what you're doing.
What is it? Think Global Flight, and the website is thinkglobalflight.org. So visit the website. It is an around-the-world flight of adventure, inspiring and promoting education with students, with teachers, with educators, with pilots. We depart, Ben, June 13th from Burbank, California, and we start the around-the-world flight. It has been a 10-year process. It was supposed to be a 5-year process, but as dreams happen, especially when they're huge, sometimes you need to be flexible and you need to make it happen.
Well, things grow, budgets grow, demands grow.
That's correct.
Everything tends to grow, but I'm glad to see you took a 5-year program and it's now a 10-year program, and once you successfully complete this program, other programs are going to kind of spawn off of this show. Tell us what kind of aircraft you're going to be flying.
Citation Mustang. It was not supposed to be a Citation Mustang then.
But it is now.
It is. It's really a wonderful airplane. It was going to be a Cirrus SR-22 Turbo. We had a Cirrus donated. The Citation is donated also. I'm really a prop lady. I really like props. I really like single engines. We had issues in Russia with fuel, 100 low lead. And as you pilots and a lot of you students out there know, single engines, for the most part, they use 100 low lead. We had 4 stops in Russia at that time with the single engine Cirrus, and it became a huge issue. A person that owns a Citation Mustang in Burbank heard about our plight, had a Citation, said, I always wanted to fly around the world. That's not something that I want to do alone. Get your multi-engine, get your type rating, and we'll take this airplane. And I went, So,
don't throw me in that briar pit.
That's it.
Oh,
I never really had the desire for a multi-engine. I have ratings, a lot of ratings. Flight instructor's my favorite. But now I do. I have a multi-engine. It's been an incredible learning process, and the type rating, it's been incredible. So here we go.
Well, and going from right to left, explain what Fred's going to be doing to assist in this process.
Fred, would you just briefly explain, about 10 years ago,
So,
what happened?
I got an email from Judy saying, I'm going to fly around the world. Do you want to go with me? And I said, I'm going, yeah, okay. So I email back.
Fred was my flight instructor 30 years ago.
Yes.
30 years ago, Fred was my flight instructor. He helped me earn my wings.
You were only 10 years old. You
Yeah. I would love to say I was 40 years old. I was told girls don't fly, and I always wanted to fly. That's what sent me on this mission, is to tell kids and to tell adults it's never too late. Don't you dare let someone tell you you can't do something. So, Fred, back to Fred.
But now, let me interrupt Fred.
That's
Now, from
okay.
Fred's standpoint, 30 years ago, you were approached by her. I don't know if I want to teach this little girl to fly. Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
Yep,
Come on, let me
exactly.
show you around the airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
Go for it, Fred.
And but so after a few years after that, she sends me an email, says I want to fly around the world. Do you want to go with? And I email back, says yeah, sure. That sounds like a wonderful idea. Think global, Fred Nauer. And I'm going because I figured, but unfortunately, sarcasm doesn't work on the email, so she thought I was serious. So here we are. But like she said, it's been a 10-year process. That was the very beginning of it, just thinking about it. I have a whole gigabyte on my hard drive of various ways of getting around the world in various types of airplanes, just trying to figure out how it could make it work. And the Cirrus seemed to be the best process at the very beginning because I looked at the Earth Rounder site and looked at all the people who flew around the world with tanks in the back of the airplane, taking out the back seat and that type of thing. I'm going, can you do it without putting a tank in the back? And I figured out a route that would work. And it's just that the political situations work that working with a 100-load airplane just didn't work out. But the nice thing about the Citation Mustang is the legs are about another 300 or 400 miles longer than the Cirrus, but they're basically flying the same route that I planned 10 years ago. So it's slight modifications to it, coming out of Burbank, taking the Great Arc out of there, up through Canada, and then Greenland, Iceland, and over into England. And so, but it's based from that point on, it's basically the same route that I planned all these many years ago.
So it's really no big deal.
That's
a joke. That's a joke. It is a big deal.
An
awful lot of planning to go
exactly.
It
It's very simple to go on the computer. There's all sorts of navigation planning programs you can use where you can connect the dots and realize, yes, by looking at the map, yes, you can make it work, but all the logistics and everything that she's had to work with through the years, and the organization that she's working with now for all the overfly permits and the landing permits and all the visas and everything that you have to worry about when you're planning a trip of this magnitude. Exactly.
And it makes you think globally.
Exactly.
Speaking of global, what does Diane have to do?
Very, very good. Diana works with...
Little segue, Julie.
That's right.
Excellent segue. Yeah, you've done this before.
No, first time. Honest, first time.
And Diana is a wonderful example of educators across the world that are working with us. They're following us on social media, so be sure you check out Think Global Flight media, Twitter, Facebook, apps. This does not end. We are going to create apps on cultures. This is also for pilots because we're going to have a lot of flying components to it. But going back to Diana, segue back. We have 20,000 kids all over the world. And Jessica coordinates a lot of the kids all over the world. So it's in 30 countries and it's all 50 states. Diana's the beautiful example. Diana, could you share what you do in Arizona?
Well, I'm Arizona's lead educator, so I'm lucky enough, I get to teach. I'm a teacher in Arizona, in Mesa, and I get to teach little kids about aviation as part of our science program. So I get to spread the word about Think Global Flight to those kids, and I do a summer aviation camp for middle school kids. So I really get them involved because they're right at that age. I mean, these are kids that want to learn more about aviation, and we were lucky enough last year that Judy and Fred got to fly out in the Cirrus and visit our kids during our summer aviation camp. So that was a fun thing for them.
I would just like to add also is that Diana, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago, when we were working with Diana, 3 years ago, was not a pilot. She's now working on her multi-engine.
Atta girl.
Yes. And Jessica, again, Jessica was a wee little thing. And Jessica coordinates students all over the world. Social media, we also have a blog on the website. So Jessica has a big job also.
I'd give you guys, this is an air fist bump. Okay, way to go. How about Jessica as far as your aviation career?
Can you talk into?
She's got
There
one.
we go. Excellent.
I'm a student pilot right now. I took a little bit of time off to go to college and stuff. I'm in my freshman year of college at Polk State College. So I'm kind of taking a little bit of time off. I'm getting my degree in marine biology. But when I met Judy, I was like, this lady's crazy. I like her. I'm like, she presented us in the classroom. She sent our teacher an email, said, I want your students involved. And she said, she presented us with problems. She said, okay, well, I have to fly around the world now, figure out how we're going to do it.
What are you flying now, Jessica? What are you?
What was I
learning?
flying? A Cessna 150.
A Cessna what?
Huh?
152, 172?
152.
150.
Okay, all right. All righty. Well, guys,
We're
look,
getting the whirly bird.
we want to learn a lot more about it, but go to your website or just Google Dr.
That's right,
Captain Judy Rice.
That's
Captain
right.
Judy, and you'll access all of these other folks. But tell you what, we're going to have to cut it short for right now, and we're going to have to come back to another compelling interview session. And thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next interview.